Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a little bit since we actually talked about Target, and Target hasn't really been in the news since the whole Pride Month debacle with the trans outfits and all that stuff that was promoted to kids, even though they say it wasn't. It was very obviously marketed to kids. They were using young adults to promote this stuff. You guys know the whole story. They lost a ton of money on market value. They also lost a ton of money in general from lost sales. And now we have an update to the story because it looks like it's gotten even worse for Target. So apparently, Target, just like Nike, if you guys remember, I did a video about Nike closing its flagship store due to theft. Now Target is saying it's going to close 9 stores, all of them in major Democratic cities, of course, citing violence and theft as the reason for the closure. I find this to be absolutely hilarious because this is what Target advocates for, right? Like Target advocates for the policies in place that allows for theft and violence to go unchecked in these major Democratic cities. So let's get into this article, guys, from CNBC. But of course, before we do, consider subscribing if you're new here. I'm Shadow Banned as hell, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So we have key points here that says Target said it will close 9 stores across the country after struggling with crime and safety threats at those locations. Target, which has nearly 2,000 stores in the U.S., has been outspoken about organized retail crime at its stores and said theft has been driven higher levels of shrink. Target is closing locations in New York City, Seattle, San Francisco, and Portland. Absolutely shocking, right? Are we shocked? Is anybody shocked that they're closing locations in New York City, Seattle, San Francisco, and Portland? Anybody shocked at all? And you know what the funny thing is? They're going to run with this story and they're going to talk about like, oh, black communities are so marginalized now. Look at this. They're taking stores out of black communities. This is not fair. You know, you need to support the black community. The black community is not supporting these stores. They're stealing from these stores in these major cities. They're removing stores from predominantly black areas, okay? I haven't verified whether or not they're all black areas, but I know with Nike, it was a predominantly black area that they removed their flagship store, and I guarantee you Target is following suit. It's insane, ladies and gentlemen, that these people really think that they can vote for these policies, that they can allow this stuff to exist, and yet somehow you're going to remain profitable. There's only a matter of time before you just can't actually keep going. And in this scenario, it looks like they hit their limit. So it says Target said Tuesday that it'll close 9 stores in major cities across the country, citing violence, theft, and organized retail crime. The company will close 1 store in New York City's Harlem neighborhood. Okay, makes sense. 2 locations in Seattle, 3 stores in San Francisco, Oakland area, and 3 more in Portland, Oregon. The discounter said it will shutter the stores for good on October 21st. It says we cannot continue operating these stores because theft and organized retail crime are threatening the safety of our team and guests and contributing to unsustainable business performance, Target said in a news release. We know that our stores serve as an important role in their communities, but we can only be successful if the working and shopping environment is safe for all. Target, which has nearly 2,000 stores in the U.S., has been outspoken, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. With its announcement Tuesday, Target also stands apart in its decision to both shutter stores and explicitly blame the decision on retail crime. Good. We need to blame it. We need to blame it on retail crime because the fact that people are actually out there trying to pretend as if retail crime is not an issue, that's stupid, okay? Like, you guys literally made laws in some of these cities that said that as long as somebody steals under $1,000, they cannot be prosecuted, they cannot be arrested. So all somebody has to do is make sure they steal $999 worth of stuff and they're good. They don't got to pay for nothing, move along their way, everything is fine. So why would these stores want to continue operating in that kind of business? Why would these stores want to continue operating in these states that allow this nonsense to continue? They are so soft on crime in these states that it's actually gotten this bad that companies like Target, okay, one of the wokest companies there is, they literally make you take re-education training for all their employees to make sure that they all come in nice and woke by the time that they're done with their courses. So they're that kind of a company. And that company has said, screw the black community. We're going to get out of here while we can because we can't stand it anymore. Like, we cannot actually support this anymore. We were able to do it for a little while, but it's gotten so bad that it's just impossible. It's absolutely impossible. So it says when the company reported fiscal second quarter earnings in mid-May, CEO Brian Cornell said organized retail crime had shot up at its stores. He added shrink overall is expected to reduce Target's full-year profitability by more than $500 million compared to the year-ago period. $500 million. That is insane money to be losing every single year. And you're going to have these morons out there that are going to say, oh, it's just merchandise. Insurance is going to cover it. You guys have no idea how business works. You guys have no idea how insurance works. You guys have no idea what the fuck you're talking about if you think that insurance is going to keep continuing to cover loss after loss after loss that keeps racking up higher and higher and higher. And then when these stores get closed, you want to complain about the store closing? You want to complain about, oh, we're losing another pharmacy in our black community. Really? You want to complain about that when you're the cause of it leaving in the first place? That's what happens when you don't respect your area. That's what happens when you don't respect your environment. You got these stores leaving because of people like this that are taking advantage of it, and then when they leave, they want to blame the store leaving. It's so stupid. It says, when asked if the company plans to close stores because of rising shrink, Cornell stressed Target's reluctance to shutter locations. We do not want to close stores. We know how important our stores are. They create local jobs. They generate taxes. They're very important for those local shoppers, and they play a critical role in communities across the country, Cornell said on a call with reporters in May. We'll continue to do everything in our power to keep our doors open, he added. At the same time, we'll be closely monitoring the safety of our team and guests, as well as the financial impact to our business as we determine the right path forward at Target. The retail executive's comments led other companies to speak out on the problem too and to advocate for legislative reform. What? How can you, yo, this is crazy. How can you advocate for legislative reform when you are donating to the people who are making these policies in the first place? Like, how on the nose do you have to be? How on the nose do you have to be? This is crazy to me. Like, you guys realize that Target predominantly donates to mostly Democrats, right? Which are usually the party that's going to advocate for these soft on crime policies because everything's racist to them, especially in these major Democratic cities. So you are going to say you are going to advocate for legislative reform after you realize that these policies don't work. We were trying to tell you from the beginning that they're not going to work. We were trying to tell these companies that this is unsustainable. This is not going to be sustainable for a long period of time. And they basically called everybody racist and bigots for it. So in my opinion, these companies should all go to hell. Screw the legislative reform. Deal with it. Like, you made your bed, you should lie in it. You made these policies possible by donating to these parties because it was the right thing to do for your ESG scores. It was the right thing to do for your public image, right? So deal with it. You should deal with it. You should absolutely have to sit there and deal with the consequences of your voting habits and the consequences of your donation habits, because at the end of the day, it's your fault. It's your fault, 100%. You advocate for it. You have always advocated for it. When BLM was stealing from your stores, you said it's perfectly fine. It's all good. Steal everything. It's fine. It's just merchandise, blah, blah, blah. Now you realize, oh, shit, you actually have to pay up now. And that is the big problem. So I love to see that Target is struggling right now. I do. I love to see it. I'm sad that there are employees that are losing their jobs. The employees out there who aren't indoctrinated by their bullshit courses that they make you take, even though there's not many of them out there. But the ones that are out there, I'm sorry that you're losing your job. But most of these people advocate for this nonsense 24/7, and for a lot of them, they're going to keep doing it even after this has continued to happen and will continue to happen. So we'll see what happens with Target after they close these 9 stores. I guarantee you these are probably not the last ones to close. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.